Hey, traders. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hold on a sec. Friggin' sirens, man, of course, right? On time. Dude, it's so loud. So loud. Alright, anyway. So, just checking up on Bitcoin that sold off today. Over $1,000 at one point. I mean, it hit a low of $41,600 and change and has rallied back above that inflection point, 41,986, which goes back to January 8th of 2021. It was that all-time high back then. And so now price, after that first time, everything's going to correlate to that level as it did in September, as it did in July, as it did even at the bottom point in June and May, right? It started here, and then it's timeless. It's now going to be support resistance forever, and you're just testing the top of it. And one thing we talked about before the stream ended yesterday was the potential bullish Gartley in development, right? Where it's just wave structures that they happen over and over and over again. And if it was going to complete, you would see the bottom, right? The exact bottom of that zone, the zone of inflection, like where you bottomed out several times in September. That's where you could be headed again if this is going to actually happen. But it hasn't happened yet, even though it seemed like it was definitely gonna happen just an hour and a half ago. But this still could happen. It's still like very real possibility that, okay, yeah, it holds now, but then 45 minutes from now, it starts dumping again below that 42K level and eventually does see $40,665, after you made a high and you sold off, and then you made a lower high and a lower highs distribution. And the second high is normally the confirmation high that the top is in, and very, very pathetic buying so far. If this is it, it's even from your previous high to low, it was a 38% retrace. Very weak. Just like before, I think the last time we had a rally, it was like a 382 as well, right? I mean, like high to low. Yeah, you didn't even make a 38% retrace after the December 4th crash. You never even made 382 ever. So very, very weak. Very little demand and or too much supply going on. So that's it. Altcoins, none of them are dead. I mean, like the ideas of what they had going on, they're not invalid yet or violated. They just have pulled back some way more than the others, right? Like we're talking like Hex is down 12%, Atom's down 10%, Luna's down 11%. So like the high flyers actually got hit harder today. We'll look at those, but yeah, your daily on Bitcoin will be a bearish engulfing candle, right? It will cover the previous candles. So yikes. And the bullish divergence that signified seller exhaustion hasn't really done crap, has it? Not really. So the midterm downtrend is still intact until something changes, until we get some signal like immense buying pressure, high volume, something. You just don't have it yet. And that's okay. You're still holding that level, right? Still holding it, chat, right there. That high from history over a year ago is still being disregarded, and you haven't broken it yet with a candle close, but that could be coming in 49 minutes. You just don't know. It's power hour. It's the last 60 minutes of the day. So see it all the time. Lots of price action all the time, man, especially since Asia started auto selling for the past three and a half months now. Yeah, it's normally lots and lots of activity in the last 60 minutes of trading on the day. So that's your Bitcoin update, man. Spoke 24 hours ago is pretty much all I got for you is this potential Gartley with the inflection points. All right, and then you can go to Ethereum. Ethereum, no surprise at all, like, right? What it's doing, we figured, right? And even on the initial analysis yesterday that you would want to see a type 2 return. You've begun working on it, selling off, but again, you're going to go up and down, whatever. There's no edge. Nothing implies a reversal yet. You're starting to fall back into the bearish control zone on the RSI and the 4-hour, and just, you know, you're just so close to breaching that B point, which is the bad action magnet move, where it's a phenomenon that occurs, as Scott Carney researched, that once you break the B point, you have a very high probability of seeing an 88% retrace, and that just lines up literally perfectly with that $3,000 area that has been major in reversals. So it'd be nice to see it, because then you could take action on it, right? And it'd be visible on the daily. I mean, maybe kind of, right? All right, we're talking about type 1 and then type 2. I figured that you would have had a nicer rally to give you a more discernible peak before the sell-off. You know, it would have looked something more like, it still could be in development. Like, yeah, you are bearish engulfing candle. It's almost like 3-line strike stuff. God, I figured like you would rally a little bit higher and then sell off to get that type 2 return right at that level. And that's where you're looking for some incredible bullish divergence in the oscillators, the type 2 return, and then the more significant reversal to at least 39.50. Something like that. You just haven't had that. You don't have that yet, so you don't really have like an argument so strong for an actionable long on Ethereum. So yeah, there you go. And so that's your MLK Junior Day update on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, it's sold off some. Yep. So yeah, stock market was closed today, but you know, commodities like oil and gold and silver, they're still open. So, but let's go to the next crypto, right, on the list for market cap size, and that's BNB, Binance. That obviously we knew on Binance that it was at a major potential reversal area. What happened at that major potential reversal area? You got yourself a reversal, right? You tested yesterday the inflection point that goes back to August of last year. It was resistance, resistance, then resistance again, then support, 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 and then what? Then resistance. And what we're talking about, we literally, I painted this yesterday. What you'd want to see is a type 2 return. And you test a level of inflection that goes back to June. And one time, no one knows. Market participants do not know the first time. And then you got a decent rally here. I like the decent rally. It's better than Ethereum's rally, right? And you sell off, and then you get the really nice look what'll happen on this second low. If you're blessed enough to get it or receive it, your RSI would look something like this. Your MACD might look something like this. And then you can say, without a shadow of a doubt, there is seller exhaustion, and there is a confirmation low on BNB, and that's the time to take the shots. What's up, Captain Hindsight? Thank you, dude. Thanks for the 2020. That's so last year, dude. Literally. No, wait, no, it's so 2 years ago. My God. But isn't there a joke about? No, that's 420, then 422. Never mind, dude. Don't worry about anything I just said. Yeah, we'll look at Ren. That it was at its pattern completion zone, but it had not even reacted. It had not type 1 returned. It had done nothing. So like, anyway, we'll look, but you know, but it was at its pattern completion zone, just like many other altcoins across the market. So this is what you would want. You know, you might get a higher low, then get bullish convergence. That's fine too, but you still got to have a second test of some sort, I think. And the bearish engulfing candle could be the beginning of another minor sell-off to get us exactly what we'd want, and it's nearing the apex of the falling wedge idea, and the closer you get to the apex, the higher the probability of resolution, where you have more major waves, up or down too. It could go down too. Yeah, that's happened before, especially if this market rolls over, Bitcoin rolls over. That's right. This midterm downtrend soon shall pass. Right. Eventually, it will recover, but we just don't know when. Yep. So we're just, you know, we're not here to try to act like we know when the Bitcoin downtrend's going to happen, but we do look at traditional technical analysis, inflection points, to see like that there could be a reversal in store still for Bitcoin with all this going on. I mean, you just can go back to history like in downtrends, you know, like in bearish trends, like where the cycle ended, you know, in December 2017. Well, I mean, there were countless times when you ended up, even like after you lost like all your value, so much value, you still, the TA was respected when the divergence matured enough. And it wasn't just one time. I mean, it was like the bullish divergence finally played out. And then what happened up here? A high in the confirmation high, and then you had like the bearish divergence, right? And then you had it's a sell-off, you know, after the divergence, right? And pending price action reversal that occurred. But then what happened? You got down to a low point in April, and what'd you do? Like there was bullish divergence down here. And what did it do? It ended up ushering in a reversal, which was implied, which is TA being respected. Even on the RSI, you had that tail end divergence and a rally, even though, you know, like you kept making lower highs and you had this base of buying. And then what happened again, man? In the end, you got back to that same level, and then you showed the same divergence on the oscillators and then an inverse head and shoulders, and it played out, hit the measure move, even exceeded a little bit, but then yeah, just ended up making a lower high and over. And then the volatility, right? The liquidity just dried up. The calm before the storm, and then capitulation, and then the legendary bullish Gartley came in. And there was certainly down here, you know, December 2018, daily bullish divergence on the RSI that ushered in that first impulse to, you know, the X to A. And then, okay, then we went to 14K. But anyway, I'm just talking about, like, even if you're in a downtrend, the divergence is normally very well respected eventually. And so, I mean, to me, like, this seems like it's really good. You could always sell off again and get even lower levels on lower prices of negative momentum. You could get quadruple divergence or something, right? And that would happen. That could happen, you know? So I'm not saying it can't, but you are at major levels where you have to hold this. Otherwise, there could be a serious markdown in price, much, much lower levels. So, right? We're talking about. So, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance. We just go to total real quick. Total that, you know, downtrend still, of course.
I like turtles.
We don't really like totals, man. We don't like when totals is below the 200-day simple moving average, and then even back testing it as resistance. God. So dead middle of a range, right? A range. How do we know it's the range? Look at the inflection points. Look, you go straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Look, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. So it could go straight down again. You could test 1.77 trillion at the same time. It could pivot and rally and test 2.2, 2.3 trillion. All depends on what big one's going to do. But right now you're in the middle. So you flip your coin to see where we're going next. Lower highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, maybe lower highs again, maybe lower lows again. Yikes. Trend is your friend. All right. So, a breath of fresh air in this effed up trash market for now.
Bruh. Look here. Look, listen.
Cardano, that was once the peasant since September, is now becoming the king again. Right where all we did was identify a type 2 return at near the pattern completion zone of the bullish bat. It was also the inflection zone, right? Lots of chop here. It tested that one day, the date of January 10th. The next day, we identified a bullish engulfing candle. And since that bullish engulfing candle, Cardano was up a little over 30% in like 5-6 days. Now, so at the same time, Cardano is working on a substantial breakout, candle close confirmation of that breakout in 38 minutes and 50 seconds. Where tomorrow, we're going to see what Cardano's made of. I bet you tomorrow, market participants will push Cardano down to test 145, 148, the old inflection point created back in February of last year. Clearly, it's real. March, April, right? Resistance, resistance, then resistance again in July. So we're going to see if it can back test that level successfully as support, as it failed to do in January, or late December, excuse me, December 27th, before selling off again. That's okay. We kind of figured that was going to happen, right? Type 1, you don't know. Type 2, yeah, we're kind of understanding it could be done, and we've pointed arrows saying, hey, engulfing, what if the TA's respected this stuff? And it's begun in very, very fast fashion. So if you can stay above 148, 145 long enough, and you get a, bonus back test, that'd be legendary. Then you'd see 184, 188 is your next target. Easy to understand why. Look left, straight up, straight down, 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 straight up, straight down. One time it didn't do that. Okay, once. Yep. Every other time though, when it gets above that level, it normally goes straight up to 184, 188. You ever break 184, 188? What do you think? Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. A million times I'm gonna say it, and then to 230. So nice to see Cardano coming back to life while the rest of the market craps out. Poor choice of music. Can you even hear it? Like, is it really that loud? My God, dude. Just turn it off. Good God. Like yesterday, I think it was too loud. I looked at the stream for a minute just to check the levels because I have those new monitors and stuff, and it was too loud yesterday. Like obnoxiously too loud. And so
hey,
I have it the same
is
decibel
there a
levels.
large harmonic on Sol with an X on the September 21st low? Heading for a Type 2 return?
What's up, Scooter? Thanks for the 20, dude. I don't know. We're making the round. Sol is in that round, so we'll look at it. We're just looking at Cardano because it's one of the largest crypto market caps, and it's notable because it's up like 10% today, 9.36% right now. It was up over 10%, 11% at its high point. So we'll go to Sol now, literally, because it's like one of the largest crypto market caps, and you're talking about a Type 2 return. Oh, okay. I get the context. I don't know. I mean, it's lame context, dude, right? This is just not the area to be identifying mega harmonics. Just like Bitcoin's kind of like not the best. Like the best context for identifying harmonics are literally perfect. Sol right here. After a nice uptrend has been established and then a correction, and then you sell off and you back test levels of inflection as support, then you create the M shape. That's you see where the M shape developed. This is the area. That's the best. When you're up here, it's just so, I don't know. I mean, the Momo has clearly shifted. So much distribution going on since it topped out in November. But yeah, I'll paint it for you and everyone else if you want to see it. 50%, pretty much. I mean, 886. Yeah, you're at the pattern completion zone. See, that my issue is just kind of like Ethereum on the daily, where like you can't even, is that the peak and you're going to get a Type 2 return? I don't know, man. Look at the divergence and just nothing. Like you test that 150 as resistance a couple times, and now you're just like bearish engulfing candle, 3-line strike, right back at that 200-day moving average. I mean, sure, it's there, but you are in a downtrend right now, and that is, you cannot refute that. A downtrend, at least since you're trending down because you're making lower highs, lower lows since November. So yeah, and corrections. Think about this. I mean, think about things get bad for crypto. I mean, just couldn't you imagine this? Like how bad it would get, how much value it would lose. It would go down to $50, and you'd get a massive M shape. Like. So up here, it's like, I get it. It's just not the strongest argument. But yeah, it doesn't mean it can't play out. It can't reverse. You sell off one more time, maybe you get just a little bit more, bullish divergence or something. You get triple divergence. Easily could happen. RSI, divergence could happen here. Yeah, sure. It's always possible, but again, it could be better context, right? Like, you think about this up here. It's not good context. It's good context. Look at like Uniswap. Uniswap, really good context, man. This is like silver. It's kind of crazy how like similar it is to silver. Look, this is like Wyckoff accumulation going on Uniswap. All right, you jumped across the creek. You created the M shape. I think you type 1, type 2 returns. You've begun to rally, but it's just kind of started. You can clearly see it's just that fundamental, proverb of buy low, sell high. Would this not be buying low and then selling high would be like $28 to $30, the level where historically reversals have occurred? It could occur again, and that's like profit taking from where you are now. $16.60 to $30, almost doubling in value. Yeah. Same time, if it $13 doesn't hold, buy. I will see it down at like $7. So stop losses are important, but this one's promising, very promising. Context is important, right? A drawdown, supply line broken, then the M shape occurs. Sol like that, where it is just not the same. You get what I'm saying about context of harmonics. I think it's important. And Thursday, Scott Carney and me, I'm gonna be on his stream in the morning, or it's like lunchtime, and then he'll be coming on my stream that evening at the normal stream time. But we'll try to talk about the context, because I don't really read much about the context of these harmonics, and something I've just noticed from, I mean, come on, man. Like, looking at charts is like my job, and so I look at so many of them, and I just realize and notice like the context is important. It's not just the M shape itself. It's like the things that did happen before the harmonic, I think, are important. So we'll talk about it. Anyway, so we looked at the big ones. Ren was requested. Well, let's look at. Okay, just see this picture, right? And I did this yesterday. You see this, and then you do this, where we were going anyway. We're just gonna go here first. Oh my God, right? It's silver, and is it not like? I know the context is a little different, but like, is it not like almost identical in many ways, where it's like a trading range, a huge trading range? You're near the bottom of the trading range, and then there was a supply line that you jumped across the creek, and then you painted the M, and now you're working on that type 2 return like Uni, and now you're at an inflection point. Once you break it, you're probably going to $25, and eventually this could manifest into a run that could take you to the absolute top of the trading range, which is way up there, right? Context, really good context on silver, Uni, Algo, all these coins near these bottom points. Sol we looked at, it's like a huge run up, and then this consolidation structure that doesn't really look good. It looks like it's rounding out, distributions happening, and
Coach
plot it
Kelly
right there.
took $22.22. Hey man, anyway, we can take a look at Zen/USD. Go Mitch.
What's up, Coach Kelly, man? Leaving South Bend, going to Baton Rouge. Thanks for the 2222. Look at Zen. Hadn't looked at Zen in many eons. Thank you, dude. Okay. So like accumulation is now evident on silver, right? You made a low, the same low, all of a sudden higher lows. More market participants owning the asset than they did before. That's what accumulation is on a chart, right? Psychology of buyers and sellers. That's what highs and lows are. So just wanted to point that out. We can look at gold too. While we're here, looking at metals, it's flat today. Flat after running up and rivaling January 5th and January 3rd's highs. Again, like, I don't even, like, there's just so much noise on spot price that it's just hard to identify anything like structurally. Like, to me, it's just like monster levels of accumulation, like one low and then another low and then more lows, right? It's just higher lows. And so again, what I've been doing lately is I've just been looking at PAX-G, like, because it takes out all this crazy stuff and it's right here in front of you. So brilliant. I think gold's going to much higher levels, $2,000 target eventually. If this is going to be respected, if the TA is respected, this textbook literally should be in a textbook for how perfect it's setting up right now. Yeah, you'd see much higher prices on gold and silver because those reasons, the argument, right? So you get it? Now we'll go to Ren. I was looking at Coinbase or yeah, Coinbase. So it's got all the makings of a Velocity athlete, right? It technically hasn't. All right, if we're being technical here, and you're talking about an 88.6% retrace, it actually has never touched it. It didn't touch it. 39.05 cents is the 886 true pattern completion zone. But we did identify bullish divergence on both oscillators. Really good on the RSI, but nothing. No bids, no one buying it, no demand.
Nick Haslam super chatted $57.18. Imagine.
Imagining, Nick. Thank you for the 79 or the $80 Australian dollars super chat, mate. Thank you, dude. Imagining. Cheers. Session top Jesus, dude.
Can we take a look at CRSR?
Corsair,
I
love Corsair,
daily.
dude.
However, it doesn't look like it's in an area with any critical support / resistance.
How could it, man? Like, didn't it, like, when it IPO'd, it just went insane and then started consolidating, then broke consolidation? It's just, I think it's now maybe going through a massive M shape, going full reset. But yeah, we'll look. I don't think it could have support, yeah. The way that chart is, just from my memory. Yeah, we'll put it on the very short list, yep. So here's your Ren analysis. You requested it, constantly making higher lows when it's bottoming out. You think it very well could do it again. Good context, right? After a drawdown, then the M shape develops. Love that. Okay, cool. But at the same time, you haven't type 2 returned. You have no double bottom. You haven't even technically tested the 886. And it's selling off. It's down 5.2%. If Bitcoin dumps, you are screwed. This thing will see 39.5 cents. So I think it would be prudent to wait on Ren still. Like, I just don't know if it's just going to start bouncing literally right here, like on the new day or something. I think there could be a little bit more downside, even though the oscillators are implying that sellers are extremely tired, right? And it might be time for an impending reversal. It just hasn't happened yet. No bids, no demand yet on Ren. And then we got Coach Kelly.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei!
Who said, I want to get devastated by Saban again, so I'm going to become head coach at LSU. All right. That is your prerogative, Coach Kelly. Should I look at this on Coinbase? Nah, I probably should look at this on another exchange. Not Coinbase. Oh, it's Horizon? I thought it was just Zen. I guess this is an adequate chart. This will be fine. You know, clearly there is some sort of major inflection point at 42.81, right? I mean, it bottomed out there March 2nd of 2021. Look, a little spring back test March 25th. Look, as you can see in July, another major reversal occurred there. And where you are now it's nowhere. I mean, it's like it's deep, but it's not like at that inflection point yet. So to me, I don't see a double bottom or anything. Yeah, I get it. Maybe you could try to say there's like a wedge developing or something. Lots of aggressive selling pressure, right? And it's like the dump and then just like pathetic lower highs, lower lows afterwards. So, but yeah, sometimes those usher in reversals. But yeah, you are, right, getting near an 88% retrace like many other assets from those July lows. From the low to high, where are you? You're literally touching and testing, no support looking left, but you're actually testing the 88% retrace perfectly. You clearly see it. I just did this. Like, I don't know. Like, I plotted it and it's the 886 and you're just at it and you're not doing anything. No one's buying here really at all. Even with the divergence in the MACD, the RSI doesn't really look good. RSI is like, oh, I'm about to get oversold.
Super chatted $49.99. Litecoin to BTC chart. Thanks very much.
Hoochery, thank you for the $50 super chat. Yeah, we'll look at we'll look at Litecoin to Bitcoin. I made a meme about that. So you're like, is it a shark? I mean, sure, it's a shark at its pattern completion zone, and no one's buying it. So there's no action to take on this asset. I don't think. Like, it is not prudent too long right now. it would be prudent to not long and just wait, because it's at that PCZ, but it's type 1 and no one's buying it. With that MACD divergence, like all these other altcoins, doesn't matter. RSI doesn't look good at all, in my opinion. It's sitting in the bearish control zone. It's been sitting in the bearish control zone. So to me, it's like not oversold and could become oversold when it sells off to go see 42.81 or something like that. So to me, I get it. There's an M shape. It's in good context, great context too. I love the context. It reminds me of Chainlink, reminds me of all these other ones before they eventually do this. But I just don't know there's enough evidence yet to take a long literally right now. Down 3.6% on the day. Zen, Horizon, US dollar tether. All right.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei.
Sorry, wrong button. All right. Switching gears to another market, which is the stock market. And yes, right? I haven't been here in a minute because it took a while. And for, I think, what I wanted to happen. Like, it's going for the full reset. It has not yet achieved that 886. Wow, 886 is everywhere. Even Corsair on another market, waiting patiently for that level. And yeah, what you're actually doing is what was once a resistance in October 1st of 2020. It has broken and has now tested it not once, but twice. Confirmed what was once a resistance from history. Actually, it didn't test it. It only tested it once. Yeah, it tested it and then bearish engulfing candle on December 27th, and it's just a lower high, and now you're selling off, and it's maybe trying to bottom out. I mean, there's definitely some MACD. It's like almost like an S coin. Wow, Corsair is synced up with all the S coins, I guess. RSI is nothing to write home about. I mean, it is diverging some, but I could easily, I mean, anytime you see it looks like this, and then it ends up selling off and ends up getting to that pattern completion zone, then does something like this, and then that's actionable long, maybe actionable long, or at least, you know, a major reversal could be coming when it looks like that on the RSI. I don't think you're there yet. I don't think you're at the levels. I don't think there's anything actionable yet, quite yet. After just bearishly testing that level. Now, one thing you're doing that I just saw this, and there's another one too. You have gap fills. Technically, like a gap fill, $20. $20, and then another one. Let's see that. 1923. So I mean, like, there's another gap to fill. There's actually one way down at 1559. I won't talk about that yet until 1818 breaks. But at 1818, think about it, right? You sell off one more time, you get to an actual reversal area from October 2020. We learned that it was manufactured there first time ever. So until the end of time, it will probably be regarded as a potential reversal area, an area of inflection. And so that's where the 88% retrace is. And so that's kind of like X marks the spot of maybe where you'd want to wait for it. I don't know if it'll get there, but you know, there are gaps to fill and there's a support there and it's an 886. So there you go, right? And then you get oversold one more time and you show divergence when you hit the 886, right? So no action take quite yet. But getting there on Corsair. Okay. All right, the next one was Litecoin and Bitcoin. All right. Which, yeah, it's bottoming out. I mean, it kind of potential double bottom going on. Sure. Let's see here. I mean, it's most recent event, or like maybe it's double bottoming or whatever, but it's like lowest levels ever. Except for that one wick, November 2017, it is like, it just hit its lowest level of all time, right? I mean, twice, except for the scam wick. I mean, we're talking like it made a lower low technically October, and December it kind of like back tested the spring a little bit, didn't it? Wow, hold on. Oh, I guess I plotted that on the 4 hour, but look at this. Kind of interesting regard to an old level from March of 2017. One time, maybe two times. You've held it, And again, like there is nothing here below that, like nothing. And so it's holding that for now. I guess it did make a higher low on the daily. A spring, maybe back test a spring. That's a long time to be sitting there springing, right? Back testing the spring. I mean, based on history, all it'll probably do is make a lower high than the previous high and then dump again. But yeah, if you're talking about like talking about the lowest risk area ever, I mean, this is maybe it, you know. I guess 127 might be, but like this is it. This is the, besides that wick, that was the lowest point ever, and you just tested it twice and you successfully held it, and you have seen an impulse off that level. So that is really interesting. Sure. But it is a long-term, all-time downtrend. All it does kind of is lose. But yeah. Like all this, like what was once like support zone, it became resistance zone in May of 2021. Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking for bottom feeding, this is where it doesn't get worse than this, because if it falls below 3048, there's nothing there. There's literally nothing but thin air until 127. So, and you can look left to see that nothing. That's what I'll tell you about Litecoin, right? You get it. Last line of defense. You are in last stand. You're on the ground shooting your gun, right, in Call of Duty, because you've been on a losing death streak. That's Litecoin to Bitcoin right now. And it's, hey, it killed somebody. Congrats, dude. You're still 1 in 50 kill death ratio, right? That's Litecoin Bitcoin.
Keep on teaching.
Is that a joint?
Thanks, I go leave for the 420, man. Appreciate it, man. So yeah, that was like the last request kind of the day. And yeah, let's see what Litecoin can do. Can it run up to 59.60 again? Maybe, man. Maybe. I know like recently, I'm talking like in a handful of days or the last week, Litecoin's been outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum, sure. But it's still kind of like devastated. But yeah, I mean, you go to, let's go to like Atom, you know, that was like the moon beast yesterday. Look what's happening. I mean, at a major level of inflection, this can occur, right? It was unable, right? It made its second highest daily candle close of all time yesterday. And then what did it do today? It ran up and tested that resistance from September 20th as resistance again. And a big red candle, very, very large red candle. I mean, it was engulfing, and it still could engulf in 15 minutes because it's so close. But one time, you don't know, you sell off, you hit another level of inflection on the bottom side, and then you rally again. Second time, you got to be maybe concerned. But if it doesn't bearishly engulf, it could just harami or just rally and eventually absorb the remaining supply at this level and then break out and go into price discovery. I think it's going to be extremely dependent on what Bitcoin does. You know, Bitcoin miraculously looks like it's going to hold 42K today. You survived Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I don't think his spirit is going to let Bitcoin drop below that critical level. But I'm sorry. He's, you know, tomorrow he's not going to be able to help us keep the price above 42K. So, you know, this could end up just turning into like an ascending triangle or something, but it also could be like a top, a short-term top for now. Look at the peak here, and then look at the attempted rally at the same high, slightly higher high, like inexistent levels of positive momentum and definitely lower levels of relative strength on a higher high. That's bearish divergence kind of on the daily. And then, yeah, I mean, you know, you tested and you failed. And really, I mean, there was some bearish divergence on the 4-hour too, and it's playing out. But you haven't made a lower high yet, or a lower low anyway. That's what I'm saying. It could just end up becoming like ascending triangle behavior, like reaccumulation structure, where there's a sell wall. And again, that could just be absorption of remaining supply at that level, right? Because there's sell orders there, because historically, market participants know that's exactly a great area to have sell orders. So there's just too many sell orders for now, so buyers relent at that level.
But then they tip $21.09. Can't let Coach K get all the good stuff, man. What about that Fil/USD? I've got an extra 14 mil late in or out. Go Mitch.
Yeah, you do, Coach O. Well, I mean, putting it in FIL would be like you know, flushing down the toilet pretty much. Because, hey, it's going to recover, man, but who cares? It'll underperform literally everything else on the planet. So might as well just throw it in gold or silver, right? Pax G. Anyway, so just going back to that psychology of reaccumulation with supply, too much supply. So buyers relent at that level because on the order book they still see, yeah, just too many sellers. This one guy's just suppressing the price, not letting the price break that resistance. So buyers relent and the sell-off occurs. But when the sell-off occurs and you're reaccumulating, you just end up making a higher low than previous low, right? Accumulation is higher. You know, more market participants own the asset than they did before, and it's identified by a low that is higher than the previous low. Maybe you do that. Right? At the same time, there's a lot of things that could be going on. Lots of things, because you don't have an edge right now, so all you can do is kind of spitball. And you say, hey, it could be just a massive cipher. It could come down and just paint a nice M shape and then begin its reversal at 35.46 in a big range. That could happen too. Or it goes down to the extreme, the 886. Nears the very bottom of the range. And we know buy low, sell high. If you're in a range, you hit. It'd be beautiful to identify an M shape and you hit that level because you're near the inflection point, the bottom. So, and there could be a lot of upside from there. So until then, until we get some sort of edge on this, you just have to look at it and be like, dang, it reversed at potential reversal areas. That's nice. So yeah, FIL. That was next. Yeah. 12 minutes till your daily candle close. If you're enjoying the live stream, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Thanks for being here. FIL, which is kind of hilarious how that harmonic that was identified back in December played out, actually almost hit the A point, which is aggressive targeting for harmonics anyway of a swing trade, and it hit that 40.87, that major level. It was once a support, it became resistance again, sell off, lower high, then dump to, you know, the lowest lows you'd seen since February of 2021. I don't know, maybe it does hold this November 2020 level as support, but it just doesn't look good. I don't even know, has it made a 886 yet, a full 886? Yeah, it looks like it, maybe more. You know, from January 2021 to now, I think it's like a 90+% retrace. It's miserable, a miserable asset that's showing the exact same levels of exhaustion from sellers that many others are, right? So I mean, like, this is the most beautiful form of bullish divergence on the RSI I think you could see, unless it's triple. This is just normal, like double, right? Like 1 and then 2. I love it because you want it to hit oversold, but barely. You want it to hit oversold, but in the first time it's oversold, the second time it's also oversold, but just higher levels. That's the best, I think, way to identify RSI divergence. You don't want divergence like up in the bearish control zone. You want it to be like an oversold territory, which it did. Unfortunately, it's so bearish that no one bought it. Literally, like, no one bought it. No one's buying this, and they may never buy it. Like, it may need to go to $21. It may need to go to $10. It's FIL, and there's no demand. That's it. So to me, like, is there a buying signal? Look at the daily. Like, no, it's just no demand. Too much supply, and that could continue even with this divergence. It's beautiful. MACD divergence, histogram divergence, and RSI divergence. It's beautiful, but it's just not catching any bids. So that's real. Okay. Yikes. So that was like the last request. So, I mean, we could go to like FTM, which is down 11.55%. Well, I mean, can you really be that surprised about FTM reversing at potential reversal areas?
BTC putting in new lows foot goal.
What's up, UEB? You're gonna what do you mean new lows? You're talking about like lowest low since of the correction? Sure. I mean, whatever. Yeah. And it's crazy because it was at that OTC's open, I guess, today. What? Anyway, I mean, I'm sure like a sell off like that, but yeah, I mean, it's at the PCZ of a bullish chart. So anyway, it's back to FTM. That was absolutely beautiful, where many other assets did the same thing FTM did, but it's one of the only ones that caught true bids. Many others painted the same structures and just crapped out. They didn't do anything. They're still back at these same levels. It's pathetic, right? But FTM was the one, and it got so close to that inflection point from October. I mean, 99% retrace from that high to low. And now look, I mean, like locally from the high to the higher high, very real bearish divergence on both oscillators, the 4-hour, right? Impending price action reversal. Well, you're getting it. You're catching it. And, you know, chances are could very well see 264, which is an old high from November of last year. But, you know, this is where you go the daily. I think there's some bearish divergence too from one high to the next. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is like, so you have, okay, this is, could be reversal signal here. Think about it. The 4-hour made a 99% retrace, daily too, right? 99% retraces from their all-time high to those correction lows. Then you have the engulfing candle. Then you, on the 4-hour, or on the daily, then you have the 4-hour bearish divergence. Then you have the daily bearish divergence on both oscillators. I mean, like, argument's really strong for a more significant reversal to the downside here on FTM, but only after hitting the pattern completion zone of the bullish bat and appreciating in value at its highest point 176% in 43 days. Only after that. So yeah, it was a good run, but these indicate that there could be a reversal here. So don't be surprised if FTM continues its sell-off where it's down almost 12% today. So, anyway, oops, I forgot to go to U.S. Oil, which I was talking to Scott Carney on the phone today, which is amazing. Like, it's so strong, dude. Like, it's automatically, immediately violating the potential bearish bat pattern. So what happens when bearish bat patterns fail, like for real? You know, it becomes a crab, and the crab is one pattern completion zone. It's one fib node. It's a fib extension. It's the 1618. Chat. We're talking like up here. What is the 1618? Pretty much $100. Yeah. So yeah, and now this would be valid until you make a lower low than December 20th low at $66, which I don't think is happening anytime soon. So you go up, you go down, but eventually the target's going to be $99.66. Yep, and it's kind of in line with the supply line, upsloping resistance. I mean, yeah, it's like a 1272, 1414 up there. I mean, yeah, it's top of the channel, top of the trend. You break that, you get 100, and it makes sense to me. I mean, you've already broken out horizontally, looking left, major levels. So so just changing up the music a little bit. I mean, the set ended, so yeah. So like this sector, energy, momentum is so strong on it. It's just consecutive higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. That's all it does. Bitcoin, all it does, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows for 68 to 72 days now. I can't remember exactly. That was Bitcoin's all-time high. Was well over 2 months ago. And it's done nothing but bearish stuff since then. And really, I mean, there is indication that a reversal will be coming on a significant time scale, at least the daily, but there's no price action yet. So it's like weak, very weak. So that's where we're probably seeing US dollar or oil to US oil, sorry. And
Valley Vet tipped $22.22. Could you look at Upstart? $UPST.
So Valley Bet, thanks for the 22s. Yes, UPST. Sure. 68 days since the top. That's it. Thank you. So. And be sure to join the Discord. The Discord link is pinned in the chat. That's where you get notified when I go live. Okay. US oil just starting to get over. I mean, there's no buyer exhaustion, right? There's like no bearish divergence really
Hey Mitch,
yet
how's
at all.
that theta/used
Very
trade
bullish.
setup looking? Could we get even more bullish divergence on daily?
Was that the next one, or was there something else? No, you got to look at Upstart, and then we'll look at it. Okay, let's look at Upstart first.
Thanks for all.
Well, we will look at it.
0.027695557 LTC.
Is that a joint?
What's up, Tommy, dude? Thanks for the 420 of Litecoin, man. Elon Musk thanks you, dude.
Ticker is 6,326. Kubota weekly.
China to me.
See my vision. Partial decline on
Japanese.
the huge broadening pattern. Several Japanese stocks look primed for higher prices. I recommend scanning the TSE.
Toronto Stock Exchange. Okay. Japanese stocks on the Toronto Stock Exchange. What? Soon you'll be telling me to get an Australian brokerage to trade. Just kidding. So, yeah, I mean, this has lost 100% of its value from July of last year. Yikes. Big yikes. And, I mean, yeah, you're nearing that 104.93. Sure, but you are in a correction until something shows up. I get it. There's some daily bullish divergence developing, but again, your most recent event is the lowest low. So I'd like to see some accumulation or something, a second test of this level. It hadn't even really tested 104.93 yet. I get why you requested it. I just don't think that there's anything. Oops. Oh my God, dude. Look at, I accidentally just hit the space bar and Cardano's at its session highs. Cardano is about to breach the neckline of the potential lower low double bottom December 27th. So you're about to be at the highest price since December 3rd. Dang, man. Cardano pumping, chat. During power hour. How about that? Didn't mean to click that. Didn't mean to hit the space bar. Where were we? Let's go back. Sorry to Upstart. Yikes. So again, with Upstart, like, I just don't think there's enough of an argument yet. Yeah, I get it. Oh, it's a bat in that weird context where it's like, you know, the context, it's just an M, 100%, you know. So, but look, like, to call a top though, look what happened. Look how severe that bearish divergence was, and it was really kind of tough on the MACD. That was real tough. The RSI was really clear though. Clear rules there that a reversal could be coming. And how did it start? On the daily, a bearish engulfing candle, and then the confirmation of the bearish engulfing candle the next day. And since then, since that bearish engulfing candle was confirmed, even, right, it's lost 69 to 70% of its value. So I don't know, until there's like double bottoms or something going on, accumulation or something, and maybe MACD divergence. I think maybe a short-term relief rally could occur soon based on what the MACD looks, or the RSI divergence here, right? It's good. Got oversold too. So that could usher in a short-term reversal. It could take you all the way to 165. But it could also only take you to 134, 135 too. So it's just not good enough yet to me on the daily quite yet. All right, that's Upstart. Theta. Yeah, Theta, dude. Okay, chat. A new day has been born. Jesus chimes. I mean, Theta's not dead. It's not even violated. It's just didn't catch bids. Everything. Look, man. We don't know if it's gonna reverse here, but there are like thousands and thousands of different times over 100 years of like when research been. Just go back to the 70s. You know, on individual stocks, and you will find assets that hit levels of historical importance, right? We know that based on, look what happens at these levels. Insanity. So like here, this is a high probability of reversal, but even if it fails, you take on minimal losses when it does fail, which it could, because nothing's certain. And then you move on your day and you look for something similar like this on another chart. And then on that chart, it does play out and it goes berserk. It runs to the top of the range. But it's never about like being right or wrong. It's just about right? Inflection points with seller exhaustion implied at those inflection points on second test. First time, no one knows. Second time, market participants know the bottom's in, and that's when they start getting aggressive with their buying. Unfortunately, the macro has been terrible, right? Bitcoin just painted on the 4 hour, nothing, right? Nothing promising. Like, oh yeah, cool, the selling's done. Probably not on Bitcoin. I mean, I can easily see Bitcoin going to 40,665 based on the wave structure right now. But anyway, back to Theta, you kind of get it, right? You understand what's being taught. This is not a, like, you know, I've got my face on the thumbnail and Moonboy predictions, and it's based on all these things and TikTok or whatever. It's just literally traditional TA. This is all it is, man. This is the makings of a varsity athlete, where if the TA is respected based on these daily oscillators, this happens next. That's it. But if the macro is too bearish, it will fail, because the macro must play ball for Theta to catch bids at this level. Okay, that's your Theta. You requested it. There's your update, man. Yeah, Echo Leaf. It's like, imagine like having like a decent IQ and then listening to what I just said about what TA is, and then still crapping on it, calling it astrology for men, right? I mean, that's insane, dude. That's like crazy. Cognitive dissonance. Whoops. Yeah, you got to hit like, okay. Is it Kubota? There's Kubota Corporation. Yeah, that's it. Because there's a bunch of them. Well, to me, I mean, yeah, it's been extremely bullish, but my issue could be just the fact that it's sold off after an amazing run, and it's attempting a rally, and you know, like, hidden divergence probably ushered in that reversal. Kind of, doesn't it remind you kind of like Bitcoin? And this is like before Bitcoin went to 69K and then topped out and is right back down to the same levels it was in September. To me, it kind of reminds me of that. So, and it's right there's that candle high close from February 15th and that high from May, and it's kind of just below that. But yeah, I get you, but at the same time, it's like, couldn't you identify a W? I mean, that's an 886, dude, right? So it's certainly the worst area you could ever dream of taking a long, right? You never want to take a long on an asset that has just recovered in 88% of its value from its previous high to low, right? It's like the worst because of how often that happens, right? And at that point, look at the daily MACD histogram. I mean, like, you have certain bearish divergence on that MACD. RSI, you kind of have it, just kind of not overbought. So yeah, MACD is kind of telling you down maybe next too. But hey, what could happen? It could sell off, underperform, make a higher low than previous lows, and then run again. And then, you know, you see that it's underperforming because bullish trend. You know what I'm saying. And if it ever becomes like violated or invalidated, then you know the target. Matthew D. It'll be like $3,100. It'll turn into that potential bearish crab pattern. There you go. It all depends. And like, yeah, massive uptrend, no doubt, man. So let's see what happens. It's just not actionable for a long right now. Don't you agree? Just because 886 is going long at 886, just like, and bearish divergence is just not an argument for good. Thing in the weekly. The weekly's nasty too on the MACD, right? I mean, like, maybe. Look at that weekly bearish engulfing candle in development. Well, yeah, again, like, you think about it. Say we both win. We both are right, or we both have the right idea. What if it just does something like this, right? And then you get like a weekly like confirmation low. That bearish bat pattern is resolved. It underperforms, whatever, and then it goes again, and then, you know, absorption of supply, ascending triangle stuff happens, and then it breaks out. But maybe it's in July that it happens, you know. I'm just thinking out loud here. All right, extremely long-term uptrend though. Beautiful. Here's log scale of it. Yeah, really nice. I'm sure you could plot like a channel or something too, equidistant channel maybe, for fun. See, that's another thing. Oh, I like how beautiful that is, Matthew D. I mean, like, there's your supply line. You just tested it, and now you know you've sold off and you're attempting a rally, and it's kind of sputtering or stalling a little bit. You know, these are just arguments for why it's not prudent to go long, you know. So anyway, just that was Toronto Stock Exchange. That was like the last request of the stream so far, or whatever. You know, I've been live for an hour and 6 minutes, and we've covered some stuff, right? See what happens. But I would say, like, first it's like 886 reaction reversal stuff. Yeah, back to Bitcoin. That again, no one's buying Bitcoin. Like, it's just not being bought. It's like gonna probably go to the 40,665 based on what's developed. Right? It's all about the data. Like, hey, engulfing candle back testing, that's wonderful. But then when you stall out, you engulf, and you start selling off again, you're right back at it. Then it's not bullish. Then it's not good looking. Then it becomes bearish looking. And it seems like it would have more downside to see 40,665 just to resolve an M shape, because M shapes just over and over and over happen, right? So, but yeah, anything above 42K, you're kind of safe. You're okay for now, but that could change. You're safe because we'll look left historically. That's the major zone. So stay above it, you're okay. But even if you fall below it and you go to 40,665, you're at very dangerous levels, but you're still kind of safe until you actually break that with follow through price action, right? Okay. Well, we could let go all day looking at assets, you know. I mean, like, look what happened to IOTA. IOTA was wonderful. It was not affected at all today by Bitcoin's sell-off. Look at this. I mean, like, the hidden divergence, the higher low and the higher levels of negative momentum. And look what you're doing on IOTA on the daily. It's like, it's time. It's either about to start building negative momentum and fail and dump, or it's about to actually go positive and maybe rally, and this could be the confirmation low on IOTA, and I think it could take you all the way to 156 if it played out. Just, I mean, you know, right? There's some stuff. I mean, there's still, like, just because today happened doesn't mean like these altcoins literally are, it's over. The opportunity that was there yesterday, day before, whatever, isn't there anymore. It's just, you know, where are the bids, man? John Travolta, where are the effing bids? So spoodly, dude. Yeah, I'll go again, like, it was fine. It just pulled back. It sold off. It bearish engulfing on the daily. That's really unfortunate, man. Like, that's really bad. That's terrible. That's like awful. If this is respected and follow through happens, you might be breaking 130 soon, and you could be going for that full reset that you do not want to see, because that's like 88 cents. Yeah, this is like, you know, that's real bad daily candle to have. You know, like, it almost reminds me of Binance Coin that had the same setup. It had the type 2 return, but then after, look, you know for a fact, when you get that type 2 return, that's it. Based on history and uptrends, when these things play out, the second low, it's time to rally and go to much higher levels. But if you do something like you did today, where you just ended up painting a lower high than the previous high, the pattern is everything's starting to not look as good. Very quickly, it's just starting to look not as good. Because you now have a distribution argument going on. Then you're right back at that very critical level, and you're not supposed to spend this much time at critical supports after already successfully back testing them twice, or maybe even 3 times. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it looked really good, and all of a sudden this new data on the daily and now the 4-hour, it's starting to make the argument just not as good. But yeah, as long as it stays above like 130, it's okay. But you're at 130, you're only 4 cents away from that. And I look at the divergence, how it just did nothing almost. Very weak. And that's like almost your litmus test, right? Like, well, if the trend was truly bullish, this would already be at the neckline and could be breaking out and running to 170. But it's clearly still not a bullish trend, right? Your lower highs, lower lows, but you just made a higher low. And that's the whole point. It's like that was the argument. It was like, it's pretty good there. It's good for a low risk opportunity, but does not ensure that it would actually succeed. It could fail if fall below 130 and then dump to much lower prices. And I guess that's starting to make sense if that happens, because that lower high, pathetic. No one's buying it, right? So that's all I'm saying. It's starting to get really weak. The argument is starting to fall apart. It's starting to, once you fall 4 more cents, then all of a sudden the argument could be dead. And that's why it's very important to have, right, proper position sizing and risk management with those stop losses. Those are really important. You have to have those, otherwise you shouldn't trade. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you're above 42K, so congratulations for now. For now, dude. So anyway, I mean, this one, look at it, and then you go to like one that is outperforming it, like Uni, and it's just way better, right? There's just more market participants owning the asset than before. And it's just at the most perfect, pristine levels with stupid amounts of upside. Like, think about if this thing went to the top of its range. Like, say it was range-bound asset and actually, from where it is literally right now, went to the top again. I mean, this thing has 72% upside. If it actually went back up to that same place it reverses at. And what if it actually reverses like it reversed in history? Same levels. It'd be insane, man. So it's clearly outperforming algo. You put these next to each other and this one's better. Clearly, people are buying this. More people are buying this than algo. It's just the way it works. It's the way it is. And this could end up showing, my God, it could end up showing hidden bullish divergence if it starts pivoting here. Holy crap, man. Implied continuation already? Okay. And the conditions are really not good when you're so uncertain about the macro. I agree with that. It's really tough. But, the thing that makes it kind of interesting is the fact that macro, which is Bitcoin, is actually showing kind of an edge at a major inflection point. And so normally, like when reversals occur, it kind of feels like this, right? Like the market sentiment's bad, fear greed index is just almost broken, the meter is like broken off, you saw it goes, it's -0, -17 or something. It normally, this is when kind of reversals occur, when it feels like this. And I'm saying, like, yeah, who would make a decision based on feeling? I'm not saying but I'm saying look at the technicals and also the way the sentiment feels and looks, Yeah, we can like revisit Chainlink too. That was such a freaking beast out the gate, but has, look, I mean, since the rising wedge developed, it not looking good. It seems like 100% measure move of this rising wedge is going to be achieved. And it could be going for like its own little full reset where it's a little cipher shark, from the previous low. You see 7886 and the uptrend's still intact. And it could be just a reaccumulation area. Yeah. What a good start. But just, again, when the macro is so bad, it's just really tough for these assets to perform. But if you go to the daily and take out so much of the noise, it's fantastic. And it was due for a pullback because the way that the histogram looked on the daily, right? I mean, you just had positive, you hadn't seen negative momentum since December 15th, and you finally started getting it in the past 2 days. And you did just show a bearish engulfing candle. Bearish engulfing candle confirmed. And the new day, you could you could go down and test 2291, just a candle high close from December 8th and December 27th, 28th. Heck, you could even come to back test $20 again, but I don't think you'd want to at this point. But you know, this is where you could show classic accumulation, one low, the second low, and then maybe a proportionate third low, like an 886. And then what is that? You get a potential 3 rising valleys. And I've seen that combination before. I know if you're a member of this community, you've seen the very nice harmonic that takes 150 to 200 days to develop, and then you get accumulation that lasts for a month or two, and then you get those 3 valleys, the classic accumulation right there, and then the big markup, and then it could go to $52 after that. I mean, really, like, so might want to be patient on this, but you might get another opportunity to continue reaccumulating on these higher lows, and then the rule of 3 on the third low. You oftentimes get resolution after, whether it's up or down, resolution on the third time, the third test. Okay, so just spitballing the ideas, but we wanted to come back to this one because, I mean, like, it really is a gorgeous chart, and I don't think it's getting enough credit. I don't think it's getting enough price action yet, but it could just have to do that. Could just have to sell up one more time. And that's okay, because you get another opportunity down at like 20 bucks, $21. Okay. And it would resolve the M shape that we just looked at and identified and plotted. Yeah, whatever. So, okay. Still above that 200 moving average on the 4 hour. There's no problems right now really with it. I don't think so. But like, just like another one that's just so promising looking. You know, it sold off yesterday because Bitcoin got wrecked or dumped some. And like, look at this. I mean, like on the daily, is there any problem? OMG's daily, has anything changed from yesterday besides down a few more percentage points? No. This thing isn't in trouble until it falls below 488. It has to lose so much value for the entire idea to be invalidated. Right, so I just like, you gotta stay the course on OMG. That looks unbelievably good and set up for higher prices. Just reading a little chat, I guess, for a second. I haven't really looked. KNC doing things. Remember KNC, what it was doing, dude? I mean, like, KNC was it was kind of awesome in its own little right. You know, there was this inflection zone we had identified, and it pumped and dumped. But on the dump, what did it do? It just went to go back test the top of the zone as support for a few days, and has started to pivot and rally, and it could rally to 230 again.
Cheers.
What's up, Anas? Thank you. Yeah, look at URNM ETF. Yes, thank you. Okay, so yeah,
short Bitcoin, long interest rate hikes. The market is just spooked for 0.01%, 0.00200000 ETH.
What's up, the Fed? Thanks for the 647 of crypto. Interesting. I didn't know the Federal Reserve owned any crypto. What's going on, man? Yeah, so it was, KNC was really interesting what it was doing. And again, it could be going up again to like $2, $2.30 if that actually is a real high or low. A North Shore, oh, uranium ETF, okay. Not sure how I feel about this. You know, to me, it's like, I get it. It's just, look how long. It's like, this is like a shark in the bad context, right? The context we're not really looking for, where it's like X, A, B, C, D, or 0, X, A, B, C. It's at the 200-day moving average. It's at a major level of inflection from history, right? Yeah, from May of last year. I'm just plotting that zone for you to see. But normally, are you supposed to be getting this much opportunity, this many chances to long an asset sitting at a support? I mean, what could be happening is, to me, it's like very weak and absorption of remaining demand. And once the demand is completely absorbed, you could see another massive markdown, and you could go for a full reset. And the full reset would certainly be an 886 from the previous major discernible low. And just look at like something like this. If that breaks, if 69.63 breaks, then the 886 would be upon you, and that'd be around 56.74. Don't you understand like why it's not? I mean, I get it. It's not, but the oscillators look terrible, awful. And like, if anything, if it was truly gonna reverse here, maybe it would have, when this kind of nice divergence developed, it would have rallied and would have been able to breach 82.25, but market participants have failed again. First time you don't know, December 27th at the top's end, sells off, you attempt to rally, and then the second time you failed and you couldn't breach it, second time. So there was confirmation that a lower high has been put in the previous high, and now it's just sitting there at the support, sitting at the 200-day moving average, just hanging out. Not really the price action you're looking for, because you're not supposed to be really getting this much opportunity to take a long. It's more so, I think, just buyers. There are less market participants owning the asset than they did back in November, and it's like you failed thrice, right? It's like a triple top almost, right? To me, so that's like kind of, I get why you requested it, but I think it's just not looking that solid right here at these critical areas. Yeah. Okay. Is NVIDIA getting ready to make another run? Well, I tweeted about it, or I responded to that analyst, or not economist, but like, that person. And I think it is set up for at least a swing trade, at least a swing trade. Where it would run up and make a 50%, 61% retrace from the height of this pattern to the low point, right? Where I'm just talking, like, conservatively speaking, if this trade setup was to play out, which it is a trade setup, it's an active trade setup for good reason. Look at it. In a parabolic uptrend, Kathy Wood sold. Like all these like bullish patterns, trading range, right? Bottom of the trading range, it bounced. Then the partial decline. We identified the partial decline. It became confirmed on May 20th. And then what happened? The massive breakout. And then the bullish Gartley, what did it do? It presented itself. We identified it. And what did it do? It performed? No, it hyperly outperformed. Okay, so now what's happening? Well, you've been, correct. You've been consolidating since late November 22nd. And down-sloping price contraction, which is a falling wedge, undeniable, beautiful, like one of the most beautiful falling wedges I've seen this year, right? I mean, already it's so you're diverging so hard. You continuously diverge above the 200 moving average. Again, that parabolic uptrend that goes all the way back, dude, to like January 2019. All things are set for a reversal that could take you to at least $300. Hold on. Sorry, more sirens. So it's like, right, 50% would be your first target. Second target could be that 618, bread and butter. And then you could completely exit the trade if you wanted to. But if the overall trend continues and an outperformer continues to outperform, it could end up going to all-time highs off of this. Where it goes to like the 1272, 370. It all depends. But, you get it. It's set up for a swing trade. But I don't like, if you're asking me, hey, is it a good time to invest in NVIDIA? I don't know about that, man. I don't know, good time to invest on NVIDIA. And I'll like, it's parabolic uptrend, dude. But yeah, like this is the area where if the parabolic uptrend isn't over, and so hard calling tops, right? If what has been going on for years continues to go on, this is a great area to think it could continue after such a beautiful pattern develops. And you're getting so deep within it, right? Probably about 70% of the way to the apex, 65 to 70%. That's golden area where breakouts occur. So just don't be surprised if Nvidia does moon soon because of like just us identifying a bullish consolidation structure in a parabolic uptrend. So bullish patterns in parabolic bullish trends oftentimes are reliable, like the bullish Gartley, like the partial decline, like Kathy Wood's selling. It's actually the bottom of a range, right? They can outperform and they can play out. They can be reliable and outperform. So at least 50%, 618, 300, 312. But if it's insane, then the 1272 and price re-engaging price discovery, whatever it marks up. That's it on Nvidia. Stop losses are important, right? You got to have a stop loss in case it is over for Nvidia. It is too high and it's done, right? Sure. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? It you know, it's like HTR. You said in the chat, yeah, it dumped, right, and it fell below the 786, but still, like, look where it's at. I mean, it's like lower low now. Could go to the 886 always, right? And God, it almost went to the 886 right there, right? So maybe it's not a cipher, it's a shark. That's why I love sharks, because the 786, I'm always like, I'm losing sleep. Is the 786 going to turn into the 886? Probably, because it happens all the time, right? So, yeah, but HDR, beautiful M shape. Beautiful. Yeah. Why don't more people watch my TA? I don't know, dude. Like, probably don't like the cut of my jib, right? I'm probably ugly, or they don't like my accent, or they don't like something about me. They don't like my abrasive approach or something. They like, I don't know, go watch like BitBoy Crypto or something, and then watch this stream, and then you'll know like why people don't watch my stream, right? Go watch this successful YouTubers in this space. Successful with views, more views than me, successful, more subs than me, successful, more likes than me, but they're probably not as financially successful as a content creator as me. So what's success? I guess I'll take money all day over subs and likes if you put a gun in my head and made me pick, right? So anyway, I mean, you know, the new day, Bitcoin is just literally doing nothing, and I still think 40,665 is would be very easy to be achieved. But it hasn't broken 42K yet, so you can't say that, but it could very well do it by the morning, you know. All right, man. Well, I've been live like an hour and a half, so, you know. Yeah. So just know where we're at. We're above the critical areas for now, so you're safe. But once 42 breaks, 40,665. And then at that point, it's going to be fear out the yin-yang right here. Where, dude, if it fails, I'm telling you, if it fails, I think this is it. I think it's where it breaks down. And then you go to that 1618 around 36.7, right? A failed Gartley turns into a bullish crab pattern, unfortunately. Don't kill the messenger, but, you know, if there's no demand and people are only auto-selling Bitcoin, they have been automatically selling Bitcoin since it peaked at all-time highs in November. if that auto selling continues, then that's probably where you're going. 36.7 for a bullish crab versus bullish Gartley. I hope the bullish Gartley plays out. It makes perfect sense. Like, right? It's like you break the supply line, then you make the M shape, and then you actually reverse there at critical areas when fear is at its highest point. And then market participants just do not let the level be broken. Just like it got broken, you know, in July, but immediately right back above, right? The M shape too. And so, yeah, just like September, they didn't let it fall. Here we are, though, unfortunately, with the trend being bearish midterm. Hopefully they don't let it fall. Otherwise, all citizens living in El Salvador will be working at McDonald's. Yikes. Yeah, Landills, you said yesterday I'd have 3 times the subs if I had all the bells and whistles. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, community engagement, having the chat up, it's awesome because, like, maybe I changed my format to where it's just, maybe I don't even have my webcam on. It's just like my charts only, you know? I don't know how to like appeal what the nature of how my stream is since it started. I don't know how to increase appeal. But Landil says turning the music off and taking out all the graphics would increase. So taking away the unique aspect of the stream that made me successful to begin with, he's saying to take it out, right? Because again, monetarily, probably the most successful crypto streamer, but certainly not subs and the other aspect of what the metric of success is. So, you know, it's hard. It's like I want to break something that worked really well. It's still working extremely well. It's just, where's the growth? John Travolta. I think it's the sentiment of the market, man. People aren't searching for Bitcoin or crypto or whatever. I already did the beard thing, so. I'm just reading. Chat's getting lit. See, people are saying stuff, you know. People are saying, get drunk more often. Get a helicopter. What? Channel's fine how it is. Salt of the earth. Stop farting. It's fake farting. It's pseudo farting. It's this wood table.
Shirtless stream will increase appeal.
Yeah, probably, dude. I guess so. Yeah. Dude, you see that guy who's shirtless who does TA, man? Yeah, maybe that would create more buzz. I don't know, dude. I think it's just niche. Pure TA, yeah. No, I'll never do a giveaway. I give away every day, AC. I give away every single day, right? 11 years of learning about this world. I'm giving it away. Like, I'm trying to do it the best I can, right? Yeah, it's just niche, man. It's like finance is like this huge like pie, and then traditional technical analysis is this very, very little sliver of all of finance, right? So I think it's just super niche. But yeah, again, I think it's just more like maybe me not making like static videos and stuff. Matthew D was talking about some guy who like recently in crypto like has gone viral because he does like shorts, you know, like the YouTube shorts, which I thought about maybe doing, but I don't even know what the format would be of those, you know. And for me, it's like doing static videos is just weird because it's like, I guess it wouldn't be because it makes sense or is logical or reasonable, because it almost is like making static videos renders my entire live stream superfluous, right? It's like, what's the point of coming to my live streams for the analysis if I've earlier in the day already done an analysis on everything in a static video, right? It's just like, and plus, it's like, at the end of the day, I gotta do what I like, and I like streaming. I like the improvisation. I'm not really into the whole, I'm gonna make a video and it be all edited and spend all that time rendering. You know, it's just, that's just not the fun part of it for me. Like, I mean, TA Metaverse. I don't know how we would do that. I don't think we can. I don't think we're there yet, dude. Yeah, BK, 30 degrees. And I'm not complaining. I'm literally just talking to y'all because, like, you know, most streams I'm like literally doing all these analysis. There's all these requests. We're doing pure TA. It's just like a little powwow because the stream's kind of over, and I'm just hanging out with y'all and you know, enjoying the crap out of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because that was so important. Like, that stuff had to happen, man. It had to happen, and I'm really disappointed in how so many people have already forgotten the message of MLK, Martin Luther King. You know,
coming
like,
into my second year in the Patreon. No comparison to all the fears out there. Those that don't like you don't like to put in the work. Looking forward to this upcoming year of learning.
Is that a joint?
thanks, Benjamin, man. I really appreciate it, dude. Thank you for all the support,
Screw
too.
that, don't ever change your style. We come here for your personality and the chill music. Respect the TA. Screw the subs.
Screw them! Screw the subs, man. No. Inverse screw the subs. Are you talking about the new subs or the growth or whatever? Yeah, dude, it's just like, I don't know, man. Because it's like, hey, I could spend time, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah. There are people that do what I do and they do it better in terms of like fostering growth on YouTube, and definitely got a lot of respect for them. It's really not them. It's like Eric Crown. That's it, right? Like how he was able to somehow double his sub count, and I'm like stuck back here at like 63k subs. Like, hey, it'd be nice to get that YouTube plaque eventually in the next 10 years. But unfortunately, I think it's gonna be derived from Bitcoin going to 100k. Dude, I remember, yeah, 300 sub streams. I remember back like when I couldn't believe I had 1,000 views on a live stream, 1,000 views, or 1,500 views on a live stream. I remember, yeah. I was reading. It is a vague pronoun, Bradley. Oh. Yeah, I just need to like get into clipping maybe and do that too. Cause I mean, like, dude, how many like insane analyses occur like on stream and they just get buried, right? Like, cause there's no even the timestamping, I don't even know if that's gonna do anything. I mean, you just gotta be like, yeah. Anyway, y'all, I don't know. I appreciate everyone coming out, hanging out with me just today, and you know, probably just gonna get out of here, get some food, and just relax and wait for Bitcoin to break 42k, right? because it looks like what it's going to do to go see 40,665 with this little Gartley. And you got to pray, because that's all you can do. And you got to pray that at the end of the earth, it holds, right? I mean, I hope it never gets down there, ever. I hope 42K holds and I look like an idiot and it goes to 48K tomorrow. But, like, it's just not probably going to happen. No one's buying Bitcoin. No one. Everyone's fading it. It's just getting faded for now. But you can't say it's not at interesting levels for a potential reversal based on the daily. And the altcoins, man, the altcoins are what are just so set up for much higher prices. It's just the macro has to play ball too. So many, man. OMG, ICX, IOTA, Uni, Algo. I think even like Alice maybe. God, see, Alice is just so close. I mean, it's like back below that level. If it can get back above 1150, it's going to $15, but it can't. How can it with the macro sucking so bad? It won't until Bitcoin plays ball. Chainlink too, right? I mean, just like getting ready for another pivot if Bitcoin can hold. Makers even at these lower risk areas. My God, man, it's like, look at this stupid range here on Maker. It's insanely, it's beautiful. It's like literal the composite operator doing a good job, right, of painting a picture here. And you know, you got the butterfly that thought maybe it was going, now it's not really that. It's maybe gonna come back down to test $2,000. It's just like the bottom, like that old peak from January of last year. And maybe eventually it's going to jump across the creek, you know, above $2,300-ish. And then guess where it could go? It could go to the top of the range again, 37.4K. Or if the cycle's over for Bitcoin, then it's going to be going down to like $1,000, $1,100. And then maybe after that, $860. So, yeah, you're at very critical areas on a lot of assets across the market, man. Thoughts on death cross? Again, it's just a lagging indicator and it's imminent. I think it's going to happen no matter what happens on Bitcoin, right? Whether Bitcoin pumps or dumps here, and that death cross is like about to happen, right? I mean, looked at it. It happened, yeah. You already have a bearish death cross occurred on the 14th, so 3 days ago. The death cross, you know. So lagging indicator though. Last time we had a death cross was on the 19th of June, and on that day the price closed at 35,500. From there you knew you were in the middle of a range, so it was probably going down to 30K. It did. It held for, it took a while before rallying again, and then you got a golden cross on the 14th of September, and then, you know, now death cross again. So big yikes. That's right, my webcam is where all this is up here. All right, so just that's it, y'all. All right, so thank you for the likes, love, support, contributions, everything in between. Very grateful for this community. You know, every night before I go to bed, I do pray and say I am grateful, because what I have is just like unreal. I have something I never even dreamed of growing up. You know, my wildest pipe dreams I had as a child can't even come close to what I have now. So grateful for it. So it's a human condition though, right? To always want more. And that's why the human race well, if we don't kill ourselves, human race will be unreal. It'll end up being one of those civilizations that is one of the most insane ones in the galaxy, probably, based on our never satisfied with what we have, right? It's just that, again, condition. So we want more, man. We always want more. So I'll be back. Until next time, respect the TA.
In another galaxy, cream is an official currency.
Yeah, dude, that's it, man. Cream gonna take over the universe, in the galaxy, and the multiverse. All right.